I would like to discuss some of the work that has already been done on the issue of food security and linking actual experience on the ground, research or other, and policy making. In a way, it's to say that we are not starting from zero. A lot of the actors are around within this room. Some of them are not present, but the key actors are here. The fact that we're not starting from scratch should be an encouragement for us, and should lead to concrete results by the end of these 2 days. We also have a third day of discussions of certain partnerships that can happen within the thematic working group that is being organized by FAO with ESCWA for practical implementation of some of what will be discussed here. My presentation will be along three main themes. The work that we have done in the region with some of the actors have led to a three-pronged food security strategy for the Arab states region that basically results in safety nets, agricultural productivity, and improved markets and financing. I will be presenting that, and then preliminary findings that have a policy implication, and then ending with what brings us here, which is certain suggestions on where we go from here with research. I know that one of the most dangerous places to be at a conference is between people and their coffee breaks, so I will try and stay within within the time. But as you will be able to see, I am presenting here the work of many researchers, many people we have worked with, and I have been really honored to be in some of these partnerships. In particular, I want to summarize the work of two collective results that we had and that I was able to be associated with. The first was in 2009, and it was a collaboration between the World Bank, FAO, and IFAD on looking, with others of course, looking at what would be strategies for improving food security in the Arab countries. And then another one was building on these three pillars of a strategic framework. What would be some of the evidence that we can get in the region on using some instruments of economic, social, agriculture, other policies. And bearing in mind, of course, all the time what has been said by the previous speakers on the fact that we are dealing with overall economic conditions and socio-political conditions that have to be taken into consideration. To go quickly through some of the particularities of this region, if you count that only 18% of world wheat and 6% of world rice production are exported, the rest being consumed within where they are produced, you can see that when we say that more than half of the requirements of the Arab countries in grains is being imported, it's not only a matter of having the funds, but also making sure that there is something that is available. The food prices these days are going down, the grain prices, but we know that they have reached a peak that is very difficult to completely wipe out, and we know from quite a few studies that the situation is not going to get much better soon. The issue of trade in food, then, once again, the FAO and IFPRI data show that the region has reached a high dependency on food imports, and this dependency is going to increase. Now, we have a classification that is also one of the things, the particularities that it will be good to keep in mind as far as framing the discussion in the next couple of days. of countries that are particularly vulnerable, and this, of course, are the low-producing, high importers. And then we have countries that are less dependent countries but fiscally strained, like Syria, Sudan, and Egypt. And the third group, of course, of import-dependent countries but fiscally sound, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Kuwait, and other Gulf countries. Then we have the situation, of course, that is typical to the region of arable lands that are quite limited, and the water situation, where Arab countries are rapidly transiting from water stress to absolute water scarcity, with figures suggesting a drop to only 500 cubic meters per capita in 2050. I have the habit of saying that this region is one of high population, low land and water availability, and high conflict. Some of the work done by ESCWA linking areas of food security and conflict stress another framework setting thing on food security, where we are interested in availability, access, and utilization as the three kind of defining parameters for food security, and that links the governance issues with the lack of governance issues in the region, the conflict, with bad scores on all of these. Other work by ESCWA links food security risks in the Arab region and suggests a certain framework where we have a global hunger index, where that was developed by IFPRI, and where we apply it to the Arab region, and we can see some of the results that confirm that link between governance and food insecurity. Going to another dimension, which is the Millennium Development Goals. As you know probably by now, by some of the reports, that the region is one of the least advanced region in the first Millennium Development Goal on reduction of poverty and hunger. And we were supposed, in order to reach the halving objective, which is basically to halve by 2015 the number of hungry and poor people, we were supposed to have a 2% improvement, and in the best of cases we have half of that happening. How did the countries actually react on the policy level to the latest food price crisis? This is important to know in order for us to be able to move on then and help as researchers and as policymakers in designing better food security policies for the short and the longer run. In the study by the World Bank, FAO, and IFAD, and others, we classified the economy-wide policies and social protection programs. And you have here a presentation of the various evidence that we have, or the various countries that implemented those policies. Some of the conclusions from there were that the programs that use categorical targeting approaches and are not limited to the poor. There were quite a few of the programs that with subsidies, basically, instead of cash transfer that is of a more specialized and targeted nature. Most of the cash transfer programs themselves were a bit too low to have an impact, And you can have some of the other conclusions there, and some of them are going to come up in the second part of my presentation. So what we came up with then in consultation in that first report that I was presenting are that the three pillars would be on strengthening safety nets, family planning services, and education to cope with rising consumption, enhancing agricultural productivity through optimization of investments to increase productivity and profitability, and third, reducing exposure to market volatility, enhancing rural livelihoods through cost-effective investments.
Dr. Khouri, you have 4 more minutes.
Great. We went then through the specific policies for that under each of the 3 pillars. And a study by Alwang and others showed that the most effective safety net would be to increase the productive capacity of rural communities by improving their access to improved farming technologies. Now, the cash transfers would be important for the most vulnerable. The safety nets need to target rural people. Most favorable programs are cash transfers, followed by food stamps or other need cash assistance. The least desirable options are direct subsidies and food distribution. On the enhancing agricultural productivity side, we first studied the kind of elasticity into the response of farmers to the food price crisis, and found that there was low elasticity for all sorts of market productive chains parameters between the higher food prices and the reaction of farmers to those increased prices. We then saw on the enhancing agricultural productivity also, Sulzer and others showed about a 35% change and increase in calorific intake that could result from more research and development in the area. And another research took as a possibility on the whole issue of self-sufficiency compared to food security, and showed that if a country like Morocco wanted to be completely self-sufficient in grains, then this would come at the opportunity cost of about $1 billion per year for that. And that cost would need to be put in front of policymakers as they study their various policy options. We then have of course, very important unmet potential for rain-fed agriculture, and I think we are going to hear more about it. We have the reducing, in order then for the third prong of the three-pronged strategy on reducing exposure to market volatility. That second publication went into research done by some of the people from the American University of Beirut and others in this room, and that were contributing factors to a set of 7 criteria to ensure that large-scale acquisition of land and large-scale investments are actually going to have a win-win effect on the recipients and also the Gulf countries and others who are investing in agriculture. Finally, I would like to conclude in line with what has already been discussed by in the keynote speeches, that I'd like to suggest that in the next couple of days we keep in mind the political aspects, the present situation that we have in the Arab countries, and also, of course, the work already done, and that we increase our interactions along two main time frames. I believe that there are lots, and I will not be citing these, you can read them, but I believe that there are lots of indications that this is going to be a long transition into democracy, that in the meantime the best assistance to the people of the region within the food security framework is to assist immediately with some of the solutions that we know work, not to go back to the old solution of centralizing everything in government, going into decentralization, going into local markets and strategies within local markets. And then on the longer term, but where we have to start from now, to go into the human resources, to go into some of the plans that have already been done by the League of Arab States and others, and to look at them, to take a second look at them. But the main thing is to build on existing experience and some of the best partnerships that can happen, and I think we have already started with those two kind of sector work results, is to work in the field with some of the people who are working, whether at the political level or at the scientific, rural, agricultural levels, to work together between partners on specific and very tangible results. I hope these 2 days will help us advance in this. Thank you very much.